Jurassic Flyers at Universal Studios Beijing is a missed opportunity. This is a Mach-inverted powered coaster. This particular ride model excels at dark ride sequences, since the speed and orientation of the cars is fully customizable. For that reason, I was eager to see what Disney or Universal could do with the ride system. However, Jurassic Flyers forgoes the dark ride scenes in favor of a high-speed tour of the Jurassic World area. In this review, I will explain why Universal did not use the ride to its full potential. Two previous Universal parks had built gliding family coasters through their Jurassic Park areas. Islands of Adventure features Pteranodon Flyers. This is a cute ride, but it has a woefully low capacity. The single-car vehicles only hold 2 riders. This is why the park has to restrict the ride to kids, yet can still boast an hour wait. Then Universal Studios Singapore built Canopy Flyer. This ride the same premise as Pteranodon Flyers, but it featured 4-person cars. This doubled the capacity, allowing the park to open it to all guests. However, it still gets a lengthy wait. Universal Studios Beijing opened in 2021 with 4 roller coasters. The signature family coaster would also glide through the Jurassic area, but would be a grander ride system. Jurassic Flyers would be a Mach-inverted powered coaster. This was just the 3rd ride of its kind to ever be built. The prototype was Arthur at Europa Park in 2014. Upon opening, the ride won the Themed Entertainment Association's award for the best ride system, and it is not hard to see why. This was an innovative coaster combining dark ride scenes and coaster elements into one experience. The powered nature allowed the park to control its speed. You could move through the dark rides slowly and accelerate during the coaster bits for some thrills. Then the gondolas could also rotate. This could orient you in optimal positions for the show scenes, or this could enhance the thrills during the coaster portions by placing you sideways or backwards. I really like this ride. The dark scenes are cute and whimsical. Then the coaster portion is enjoyable as well as you glide above the indoor area and burst outside for a decent helix. The second such ride we built was Dragon Gliders at Motion Gate Dubai. This ride took a similar approach to Arthur, blending exciting dark ride sequences with a peppy coaster finale. So when I heard that Universal would be using the ride system, I could not wait. Universal makes some of the world's best dark rides. With their giant pocketbook and design team, I thought this could be one of the best themed coasters ever devised. Could is the key word. Jurassic Flyers has 0 dark ride scenes. Further, there are 0 animatronics. Even the Flight of the Hippogriff coaster received an animatronic. That being said, this coaster does look amazing. It weaves around a giant rocky mountain that serves as the centerpiece for the entire theme park. Then the mountain also has a large waterfall that the coaster interacts with. Then the start winds through the Aviary, which essentially is the indoor version of Camp Jurassic. There is so much kinetic energy as this ride spirals around the playground and glides over pathways. Before Universal did, I question if another ride system would have been better. All of the inverted Mach-powered coasters to date have had just 12-person trains. They are comprised of 3 cars with 4 seats in a row, and they all run multiple trains with a continuously moving load platform. While this is a much higher capacity than Pteranodon Flyers or Canopy Flyer, these are still very short trains for a roller coaster. I wonder if the park could have achieved the same flying effect using something like a Vekoma suspended coaster. A Vekoma suspended coaster would have the exact same minimum height requirement, but it could have featured longer trains and more exciting coaster sections, and I think the visuals through the Jurassic World area would have been just as effective. Or if you want to forgo the suspended component, the park could have selected a sit-down family coaster with an even lower minimum height requirement and longer trains. Imagine a Zaire Tivoli coaster like Jaguar at Knott's Berry Farm going through this park. The reason I bring up capacity is because Jurassic Flyers routinely has the longest wait at Universal Beijing. It hovers around the 60 to 90 minute mark daily. You're most likely going to have to wait a long time to experience this attraction. What can you do to avoid the worst waits? There are 3 approaches that can save a lot of time. Option 1 is to ride this coaster immediately after the park opens. You want to arrive well before the park opens to be at the front of the rope drop crowd for this strategy to work. If you're not one of the first people over there, you will already encounter a lengthy wait. If you're rushing to this ride, know that the entrance is inside that aviary section. It also helps if you do not have a bag. If you have a bag, you'll be directed to the lockers before entering the queue, which will allow others to get ahead of you. Option 2 is to save this ride for the end of the night. Universal Beijing keeps their queues open until park close. As long as you enter the queue before the official closing time, you will be able to ride. This ride's wait will drop tremendously towards the end of the night. Just note, the park may lie and keep the posted wait inflated to deter people from entering the queue. Option 3 is to utilize the Express Pass skip the line system. This will allow you to board in less than 5 to 10 minutes in most cases. However, this is extremely expensive. Jurassic Flyers is only included in the highest tier Express Pass. Most days, this is an additional $250 to $350 US dollars, or 1,700 to 2,400 yuan, on top of the park admission, and you only get to skip each ride once in this tier, even for that price point. I really wish this coaster had a single rider line. It will be a major help with the 4-cross seating. I believe Universal Beijing used to have single rider queues for select attractions, but they discontinued them because locals were misunderstanding what the queue was for, leading to confused and frustrated guests when they reached the end of the queue. One very important touring tip: this ride will close in the rain. Most parks in China will not operate their coasters in any rain. Universal Beijing will not open any of their outdoor coasters until the rain fully stops. Once the rain starts, they will close the queue line. If the rain is light, they will continue to cycle through the guests already in line. But if a heavy rain starts, they will entirely cease operation of Jurassic Flyers. Because of how the vehicles are suspended and floorless, bags cannot ride with you. Fortunately, the park provides complimentary lockers before you enter the queue. These are approximately the same size as the lockers on Tron and Magic Kingdom if you're familiar with those ones. Anything that can fit in a pocket can ride with you. Or you can even hold on to small items like your cell phone. We saw a lot of people doing this. The queue routes you through a research facility. There are some physical props as you move through each room, plus plenty of posters and infographics. Given the long wait, I had plenty of time to see everything. Now curiously, most of the text is in English. At the end of the queue, you have a staircase to the load platform. Since this is a continuous loader, there is no choice seating. It is luck of the draw where you end up. Fortunately, seat does not matter tremendously with this coaster. This ride has limited forces, and the spin gives each row an unobstructed view of points throughout the layout. Riders are restrained by overhead lap bars. These are comfortable, and they keep your entire upper body free, which is always cool on an inverted coaster. Once secure, you begin a leisurely spiral around the edge of the aviary's roof. At this point, you'll notice the ride's onboard audio. It is an upbeat soundtrack capturing the spirit of the opening sequences of the film. This part also wraps around a playground, so it is fun interacting with kids and employees who are likely waving at you. About halfway up the spiral, the train really picks up the pace. The trains will also be rotating slightly, so your visuals are constantly changing. This part offers very light positive Gs. It is more about the disorientation. As you exit the aviary, you head into a rocky cavern. This part is slow, as you snake back and forth. When you emerge, you hear the famous Jurassic Park theme song. Next are 2 helixes. The first is a downward spiral. The train accelerates at a respectable clip here, so it offers some decent Gs. Then, you have some low S bends. These will offer some weak lateral shimmies as you change directions. Then the train accelerates up an upwards helix, which also offers some decent positive Gs. You then head back into the cave. You slowly creep behind the giant waterfall. This is meant to be a wow moment, but I'm sad to say it does not hit as hard as the backside of water on the Jungle Cruise. On that ride, you have a guide excitedly hyping everyone up. On Jurassic Flyers, you just have some music. I think this waterfall looks far more impressive from the front, so it's a much better visual off-ride. When you emerge, You have another downwards helix. This one is tamer than the prior helixes. Then you have a turn overlooking the Jurassic World area before heading indoors. You then decelerate as the booming Jurassic World theme plays. The Jurassic films really have some of the best scores of any film series. You then disembark, ending the 1,959 foot or nearly 600 meter long coaster that has not a lot of track length, but this coaster is a respectable overall duration in 3 minutes because it takes its sweet time through so many elements. It ultimately is on the shorter side relative to most attractions at this park though, which is a major con if you wait a long time for this ride. Now what about the pacing? This model usually has some slower bits for the dark ride scenes, which usually work well for me. Those scenes are typically engaging. I would accept the slower bits in Jurassic Flyers more if they occurred during traditional show scenes. Instead, they just let you appreciate a view for a few extra seconds. But I didn't really think this offered a huge benefit. I personally would prefer to have the train move through the layout more briskly. That is especially true because the visuals during the ride's fastest bits are solid, particularly during the Aviary and finale. Then in terms of smoothness, this ride is glass smooth. That is to be expected given the manufacturer and the modest speeds. Well, would I rate Jurassic Flyers? I would give this coaster a 4 out of 10. It's fine. The visuals are solid as you cruise through Jurassic World, but I really wish this ride included traditional dark ride scenes. All of the other Mockingbird powered coasters have done that to great effect. Instead, Universal's version feels like a faster paced monorail with the occasional spurt of positive Gs. It is fairly fun, but it typically is not worth the lengthy wait, and it truly is a missed opportunity. Those are my thoughts on Jurassic Flyers at Universal Studios Beijing. What are your thoughts on this coaster? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.